refer to the manual, to look at the diagram and the manual. So the number of rejects will be few. If his interest is low, he doesn't like to refer to the manual. Okay? So the number of rejects will be high. So this variable, which is, we call it moderating. Moderating means it controls. It makes a control of the relationship. Depends on something. Here it depends on interest. Maybe this interest, or what we call it inclination, maybe it depends on the gender, male or female. Maybe female doesn't like to look at the manual every time, but the female likes to refer to the manual every time. Okay? Maybe it is a race. Race means this person is if we can explain it. Race, we means in Arabic is al-'irq or al-asl.
It's the root.
Sometimes people who are from Europe, they have different interests from the people who are from Arab, for example. We are Arabians, so in our race, maybe we have a culture, we don't like to go to the manual every time. But for example, people who are from Japan, they are very accurate, so they have no problem to look for the manual every time. And sometimes, level of reward. Level of reward means, okay, if the employee knows that his reward means maybe he will get extra salary. If the number of rejects is few, he will get extra money. But if the number of rejects is high, maybe they will deduct from his salary. So this is level of reward. This means mukafa. If the level of reward is high, maybe the person will have high interest because this is money. I should refer to the manual because I want to reduce the number of rejects. But if the level of reward, there is no reward, or maybe it doesn't matter, so he will not be accurate to look at the manual every time because it doesn't matter. Even my rejects is high or low, so I will not get any reward. And this is our culture. Even if you do the best, the things in the best way, you don't get the reward. You and the other person who get, he is less productive than you, you will get the same salary. Okay? You don't have any kind of reward. But this level of reward for the private companies is very important. Okay? Have you understand it now? So this is the moderating variables. Moderating, it means it affects the relationship. It controls the relationship depending on qualitative or quantitative variable. For example, gender, race, class, or level of reward. Okay?
Doctor, change relation to high or less? Change the relation to high or less?
Depends on the variable itself. We say, for example, in the gender, if the gender is male, for male people, for example, men, they don't like to look at the manuals. They are lazy. They just do it. Okay? So that affects the relationship to get high number of rejects. But if the gender is female, female are more accurate. Okay, so they will do the work more accurate, so they have to refer to the manual. and then the number of rejects will be less. So it affects the relationship maybe in positive or negative way. Depends on the type of interest. Okay? The fourth type of variables is mediating variables. We cannot translate what do we mean by mediating, but we can just explain. Mediating means it is in between the dependent variable and independent variable. It falls in between, in the relationship itself. It surfaces between the time the independent variable starts operating. This is the independent variable. It starts operating in time t1. Okay? Starts operating, this variable starts operating in time t1. Okay? Dependent variable, this is a dependent variable. Okay? The impact is on dependent variable in time t3. Starts in time t1. This is the independent variable. Independent variable affects the dependent variable and gets the effect or the impact on dependent variable in time t3. The mediating variable falls in between t1 and t3. It is in time t2, in between t1 and t3. Okay? It is in between t1 and t3. We will see an example now.
To affect them. To affect them.
It affects the relationship, but its effects is in the time t2, in between t1 and t3. t3 is the effect of independent variable on dependent variable. t1 is the starting of independent variable. Here the effect, it takes place in time t3. Okay? The mediating variable gets affect the relationship in time t2, in between t1 and t3. Okay. We should understand the example. Example means we have an organization and the organizational effectiveness means the production of the organization is good, is high, means is effective. Effective means فعال. Organization is effective. So we have organizational effectiveness. Okay, this is the dependent variable. This is the main variable. When we do our research, we are concerned about, we say this is the primary. So we need to make the organizational effectiveness high. Okay? So what are the variables that affect this dependent variable? One of these variables is workforce diversity. Workforce means the employees. Workforce. The employees of the organization. Okay? This is the workforce. Diversity means they are from different countries. Our employees in the organization are from different countries, are from different cultures. Some of them from Europe, so they have European culture. Some of them are from maybe West Asia, like Malaysia, like Indonesia, so they have their culture, world culture. And some of them are from Middle East, from Arab countries. Some of them are from America. Okay, so we have workforce diversity. Diversity means different. Okay? Diversity means from different places. So our employees are from different places. How this independent variable affect the effectiveness of our organization? Is the diversity good for the effectiveness, or it's not good for the effectiveness? It may be good, it may be not good. Okay? It depends on something called creative synergy, which is the mediating variable. This mediating variable or creative synergy of the workforce maybe make the organizational effectiveness high, or maybe make it low. So, for example, creativity, you know what we mean by creative synergy. People who are creative, have creative thinking. Okay? They can produce new ideas. They can give new solutions. Okay? We call them creative. They have creative synergy because they can find different solutions. If they face a problem, okay, they try to solve it in the way that all people can solve the problem. But if this problem is not success, so they can invent, they can create different solutions. They can think. They are creative. Okay? They can find different solutions for the problem. Okay? So this variable, which is mediating variable, creative synergy, is different from one place to another place. For example, the people of Japan, they have creative synergy because they can find solutions, different solutions. But for example, people from Gulf countries, for example, they have money, they don't need to think. So maybe they know one way to do the work. If that one way is not correct, then they just stop. Why? Because they don't think. They don't make their minds work. So they don't have creative synergy. So the workforce diversity, okay, affect or influence the dependent variable, which is the effectiveness of the organization, okay, depending on creative synergy, based on creative synergy. Because every workforce group will have different creative synergy. People of US have different creative synergy than people of East Asia, than people of Europe, than people of Arab countries, than people of Gulf countries. It is like this, okay? So, the organizational effectiveness will be different, okay, based on the workforce diversity in terms of creative synergy. So, creative synergy is mediating in between, inside the relation between this and this. Okay? Huh? It is variable. It is variable, but we call it mediating variable. Means it's not main variable. This is the main variable. And this is the variable that influence or affect it. This is the reason behind this. Why this workforce, this type of people from this country make the organizational effectiveness high. Why? Maybe they are creative. They can find different solutions for the problem.
What's the difference between moderating and mediating? Moderating and mediating.
In the moderating, it affects the relationship itself, but here it is in the relationship, inside the relationship. It is the relationship. It's not just affect the relationship. Okay? It is the inside the relationship itself.
I can delete it.
In terms of, you can delete it. If you delete it, then, or you can make both of them. You can make this mediating and moderating in the same figure. This is, let's see how it will be.
Not teacher, don't get them. Or
Okay.
do you think
What's the different example? Sorry?
this variable creating not affect them what?
No, it doesn't affect the other variables. This is why the workforce diversity affects the organizational effectiveness, because of creative synergy.
What is the time?
In between them, I mean this one will affect this one in time t3. It starts in time t1, it affects this one in time t3. In between them, in time t2, we have this mediating variable. So it can be deleted. It can be the relationship only from workforce diversity to organizational effectiveness. But to understand more about how the workforce affect the organizational effectiveness, we can make it clear by using the mediating variable. It's not always common in your studies. The most common variables are the dependent and independent. You
But
cannot
this
see this. Huh?
this reason to affect them or not reason?
It is one of the reasons. It may be one of the reasons. Maybe you can have different reasons. Not only the creativity of synergy. Okay, let's have a break for 10 minutes.